Hey, this is the chair guy. I don't talk a whole lot about the whole neurodivergent thing just because it doesn't usually come up in videos, but I do think it's kind of interesting. I know that I have viewers that are not neurodivergent at all, and they seem to really like the system as well, and I have had some neurodivergent people who have said this doesn't connect with them whatsoever. So I tend to use that particular term instead of autism or whatever just because neurodivergent has kind of a wider umbrella, and all it really means is we kind of look at things in a weird way. Like myself, I just always had real difficulty understanding how the fretboard worked, because if you gave me a chord shape or a box shape, I knew that those notes allowed me to play in a certain key or whatever, but because I couldn't understand the overall structure of the fretboard, it just didn't make sense to me. It didn't work. It didn't, I couldn't grok it, if that makes any sense. And what I'm really finding, because lately I've been just watching some videos about autism and having certain things click with me, and I think in a lot of ways the chair system is kind of like learning backwards to the way most people learn. For instance, a lot of people seem to start out with horizontal playing. They start out with boxes up and down the fretboard, and then they move into a more diagonal way. I know a lot of really amazing players, and they really play more diagonally than they do horizontally. Some of my friends have actually talked to me about that, including one friend who's a bass player, and he's like, yeah, that's how I play. But they went the other way around. They started out horizontal and then they kind of went diagonal, whereas I start out diagonal and I go more horizontal. I also find that I never really understood chord structure nearly as well until I had this, simply because it allowed me to kind of see the fretboard as a whole and then kind of understand how chords and scales came out of it. For instance, I can look at this structure and I can put my fingers in the right places and go, oh, that's a 1-3-5, 1-3-5, 1-3-5 across. Or I come down to the minor, and I can go, oh, that's the first, third, and fifth of E or whatever. And that just seems to work better for me. And I have the feeling it's very counterintuitive for some people, and I totally understand that, especially people who have started out learning the other way, learning the horizontal method and chord shapes and maybe the cage system or something first. Not that I have any problem with any of those systems. I actually kind of lay them over my system and use them just in a slightly different way. But I just thought it might be interesting to do a little video talking to everyone who's been through this and had to learn music in general in a very different way. I mean, in many ways, I kind of feel like I've been having to kind of reinvent music theory for myself, which is also probably why some people who've taken it for years go, what are you talking about? And that's why. It's just my brain has a lot of difficulty with things, but my hope in this channel is that I can connect with other people whose brains work in a similar way, and hopefully it's helpful to them and everybody else, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm the chair guy. I'll see you guys later. And remember, guys, if you check out my website, musicalchairsystem.com, you can get diagrams and stickers and even a free diagram.